we are going to start with the review for those one who weren't there on Monday. Okay, so the first topic we're going to see on this review, okay, is in your book on page 140. It's comparing with adjectives. Okay? It is comparing with adjectives. Remember, when we are comparing, okay, we compare one thing with another or with many others. We have here a little definition. It says, an adjective has different forms for comparing. Use either ER or more to compare two people, places, things, or ideas, okay? When you're comparing two, only two, you use ER or either more. Use either EST or most to compare more than two items, okay? When you are comparing, for example, your dog with 10 other dogs, you're going to use EST or most, okay? So when are you going to use, for example, ER or more, or EST or most? We have one syllable adjectives and some two syllable adjectives add ER or EST, okay? Always to the one syllable adjectives, okay, you are going to add ER or EST. And some two syllable adjectives, you have to add ER or EST, okay? It's not to all of them, it's only to some of them, okay? For example, here we have Asian elephants are smaller than African elephants. Small is a one syllable adjective, so that's why you add ER, okay? Of all lands, mammals, please someone the ones with the noise can mute their microphone. And remember to put your camera on, please. Okay, so as I was saying, of all lands, mammals, elephants are heaviest. As you know, heavy is a two syllable adjective. Okay, for the ones who just came in, it's on page 140. So heavy is a two syllable adjective, but you can use EST or ER when comparing, okay? But we have the other rule for more or most. It is always use more and most to compare adjectives with three or more syllables. So for adjectives that have more than three syllables, you are going always to use more or most. For example, beautiful. Beautiful is a three-syllable adjective. You're not going to use ER or EST. You're not going to say beautifuler or beautiful less. You're going to say more beautiful or most beautiful. As you can see, we have some examples here. Elephants are more intelligent than giraffes. Elephants are the most enormous land animals. As you can see, enormous is a three-syllable adjective, as well intelligent. So remember, for adjectives that are three or more syllables, you're going to use more or most. Questions by now? No? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's continue. When you add ER or EST to an adjective, the spelling may change, okay? So we have adjectives ending in E. You eliminate the E and you add the suffix. It will be tamer and tamest. You do not double the E, okay? Then we have adjectives ending in a consonant and Y. Always remember this rule. When an adjective ending in Y, you are going to change the Y for an I, and you're going to add the suffix. Like busy, you're busier, or busiest, okay? You change the Y to an I. For last, we have adjectives ending in a single vowel and consonant, okay? A single consonant, sorry, single vowel and consonant. For example, sad, okay? Because sad ends in one consonant, okay? You are going to double the D and spell sadder or saddest. For example, fast. Fast is how many consonants does it have at the end? Fast. How many consonants does it have at the end? 1 or 2? Fast. As you can see here, fast has 2 consonants, okay? So we just add the suffix ER or EST, faster or fastest, okay? For example, for big, how many consonants does it have at the end? 1, okay? Because it has 1 at the end, you're going to double the consonant, and it's going to be bigger or big, okay? And for last here, do not use ER or EST together with more and most. Mostly you do this mistake. Sometimes you say, she is more bigger, or she is the most biggest, okay? You either use ER or more, okay? You cannot use the two together. For example, you have the ones that are incorrect here. In African elephants, ears are more larger, okay? That's incorrect to say more larger because you already have the ER, okay, here. Then in Asian elephants, the correct way would be an African elephant's ears are larger than an Asian elephant. Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's see, you had some examples here. Okay, that it says, in column A, write the form of the adjective that compared 2 items. Remember, when we compare 2 items, you use ER when it's 1 syllable or some 2-syllable words, and we use more when we have adjectives that have more than 3 syllables. So, and in the second column, column B, write the form of the adjective that compares items. So the first, dry. How do I write dry?
Dryer.
Do I change something?
Yes.
Dryers with EI.
Yes.
You change the Y to I.
Yes, so it's going to be dryer. Good. For example, the next one.
Double D means.
¿Qué
está
haciendo con esa leche?
It will be
Ladder.
ladder.
Double.
For this one,
More beautiful.
now remember the second column you have
Beautiful guest.
most.
Most beautiful.
Beautiful.
Most beautiful.
Okay. And for example, number 4.
Cutest.
Number 4, cuter. Cuter.
Cutest. Remember, in column A were the words comparing 2 items, and in column B were the ones comparing 3 items. Okay? Do you have the same answers?
Yeah.
That means.
Okay. Good. For example, just let me know for, let's see, for number 5, natural, what did you have? More natural or naturaler? For number 5 is more
natural.
More natural, good. Number 6 you had?
Nicer.
Nicer, good. Okay, 6. Nicer. For number 7?
Or humorous. I don't know how to say that word.
Number 7.
Humorous.
I don't know.
Okay, for number 8, what did you have?
Wealthiest.
Yes,
Wealthier.
wealthiest. Number 9.
Most unbelievable.
Yes, most unbelievable. And 10.
Wettest. I don't know how to pronounce.
Wettest, but do I change something in wet?
Yes, you write
Double T.
double T and EST.
Yes, double T. Good. Are we clear there?
Yeah.
Yes, miss.
Erase?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Let's continue on the second part. In part B, you were to write the form of the adjective in parentheses that correctly complete its sentence, okay? So for number 1, elephants are the animals on earth. How many are we?
Yes.
2 or more than 2?
More than 2.
Okay, so what would it be?
Strongest.
Yes, strongest. Okay. Strongest. For number 2, African elephants are than Asian elephants.
More fierce.
It would be fiercer. Okay. Number 3, we had female elephants are on family members than male elephants.
More dependent.
Yes.
Most dependent.
Here we're only comparing female to male, so we're just comparing two, so it will be more dependent. Number 4, the member of an elephant herd is a family. Sorry, is a female. How many?
Most respected.
Yes, most respected. And for the last, the elephant's 2 teeth are called tusk.
Bigger.
Remember, we're comparing the 2 with all of the teeth.
Shorter.
Biggest. Do you have the same answers? May I erase?
Yes.
Luther, may I erase? Okay. Continuing with a review, we have adverbs on page 148. Okay, so we have the adjective describes nouns, okay? But adverb is a word that describes a verb, adjective, or another verb, okay? So adjectives only describe nouns. Adverbs describe a verb, an adjective, or another verb, okay? So we have remember these adverbs describe a verb, adjective, or another verb. We have the example describes a verb, slowly the hot air balloon rose. So slowly is describing rose. Remember, rose is going up. Describes an adjective. The day was very windy. So very is the adverb describing the adjective windy. Describes an adverb. We soared extremely high. Okay, extremely is describing high. Or when you say she was running very quickly. So very is also describing quickly. So here we have most adverbs tell how, when, or where an action takes place. Many adverbs end in ly. So sometimes it's easy to recognize an adverb by only seeing that they end in ly, okay? So we have noticed that adverbs can come before or after the words they describe. For example, normally, not all the time, adjectives come before the noun. As you can see here, adverbs can come before or after the words they describe. For example, here, how the balloon easily rose. Okay, so you can ask the question, how did the balloon rose? Easily. When? Recently, we flew in the balloon. Where? We flew the balloon westward. Also, here we have some adverbs answer the question how much. Okay, so normally for how much you have very excited or very. Here are some adverbs that tell you how, when, where, and how much. For example, for how, we have quietly, suddenly, slowly, together, quickly, fastly, slowly, many, okay? When, always, eventually, sometime, soon, tomorrow, yesterday, all of those are adverbs. Where, far, nearby, south, there. How much, extremely, quite, rather, and very. Questions with the introduction for adverbs?
No.
Nope. Okay. So if you don't have question, let's move on to the exercise. Okay. So here we have, in each sentence, circle the adverb that describes the verb, adjective, or adverb in boldface. Then write whether the adverb tells how, when, where, or how much. First, what we're going to do is we're going to identify the adverbs, okay? So we have number 1 done. Our hot air balloon ride was very exciting. So very is describing exciting, and very tells how much. For number 2, we arrived quite early for our ride. Which one do you think is the adverb? We arrived quite early for our ride.
Why?
Yes, quite. Okay, so you circle quite. Okay, circle quite. Good. First we're going to circle the adverbs, and then we are going to identify them. Number 3, the balloon's burner roared loudly. Which one is the adverb?
Burner.
No, it's not burner.
Loudly.
Yes, loudly. Okay, remember that adverb can come before or after the verb. For number 4, soon the huge balloon filled with hot air.
Soon.
Yes, soon. Good. Okay, soon. So now we're going to identify them. For number 2, quite. Quite tells how much, when, where, or how.
When?
Which one does it tell?
How much?
When?
How much?
How much. Okay. For number 3, loudly.
How?
How. And number 4, soon.
When?
When. Yes. Okay. questions?
No. No.
You clear with it?
Yes, we clear.
Okay, so I'm going to erase it. Okay. Then we have exercise B. Circle the adverb in each sentence, then underline the adverb describes. Sorry, underline the word that the adverb describes. So for number 1, the balloon floated slowly over our town. Which one do you think is the adverb?
Slowly.
Yes. Okay, so slowly. And what word does it describe?
Floated.
Yes,
Float.
so you underline floated. For number 2, we drifted south toward the lake.
The adverb is south.
Yes, south.
South. I don't know how to pronounce. And the describe is drift.
Yes, drifted.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, the flight was very smooth.
Very is the adverb. Very, and the describe is flight.
Smooth.
No, it's smooth.
Smooth.
Is smooth.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. 4, a flock of birds flew nearby.
Nervy,
Nearby, yes, is the adverb.
nearby, and flew.
And flew, yes.
Flew.
Number 5, we crossed Eagle Lake quickly.
Quickly.
Quickly is the adverb, yes.
And the script is crossed.
Cross.
The script is crossed.
Describes, remember describes.
Describes.
Okay. Good. Questions?
Nope.
No questions? We clear here?
See.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to erase. For the last topic we have, this is on page 164. Page 164. Okay, on page 164, we have 3 kinds of conjunctions, okay? Remember, a conjunction is a word that joins a sentence or a group of words. For example, here you have the definition that I said. A conjunction joins words or group of words in a sentence. There are 3 kinds of conjunctions. We have the quaternary, subordinary, and correlative conjunctions, okay? These are the 3 types of conjunctions we normally have. We have the first, the quaternary conjunction is these are the common ones you know. And, but.
And, but, or.
Yes, the ones that you commonly know. Join 2 simple sentences to form a compound sentence, okay? So you can join two small sentences to make one. That conjunction and, okay, that conjunction and also join simple subjects.
This is right here.
Simple predicates, okay, to form compound subjects and compound predicate. As here we have the first example is a conjunction joining a simple subject, okay? The simple subjects are Kim and I. So we have Kim and I like the Science Museum. So here is joining 2 simple subjects. The second one we have, we want to visit, but we are too busy. Here we are joining 2 sentences. We will go soon, or we will miss the new exhibit, okay?
Okay.
Now, the second subordinate conjunction we have is we have before, because, and when. You normally use because, okay? So we have the examples. We get together before the day is over. Because we have some time tomorrow, we can visit then. We will board the bus when it arrives. So all of these are conjunctions. These are subordinate conjunctions, yes?
I have a little question.
Uh-huh.
What it means nor?
Where?
In page 165, in the part B, exercise number 1, it says, I'm not only happy, and you put, and
Okay.
he says nor.
Nor
What it means that?
Me. For example,
It means
me. Don't know it. Okay, like for example, what can I say? No he ni estudiado. For example.
es como me.
No, ni. And I. Okay. So we're going to try to finish because we only have like 9 minutes. 8. Correlative conjunctions, okay, are the last conjunctions we have, are the pair of conjunctions that work together to connect two items in a sentence. So correlative conjunctions have to be together, okay? So they can be a conjunction. So both and, either or, neither nor. And not only but. So these have to be together so they can work as a conjunction, as a correlative conjunction. So here we have the examples where you can use them. For example, here, both Joe and, so both and Joe and Sue will go on a field trip. It means each of the two options is possible. Either you go to the museum or you stay at school. Only one of the options is possible. Neither Pablo nor I had never been there. So each of the options is not possible when we say neither nor, when we use them. Later, I was not only tired, but also sleepy. So we have both options are true. Questions?
No.
So for the practice days, you only had to underline the conjunction. For number 1, which one was the conjunction?
Or.
Okay, so
Or on.
good. For number 2.
Before.
Our.
Before.
Our.
Before.
Yes, it is before.
Haha.
For number 3?
Number 3 is end.
Both. And.
No,
I think that is end.
it's only both, okay? Sorry, both and here. Yes, both.
Both and end.
Yes. For number 4, we learned that telescopes are very useful and important. And for number 5?
Nor.
It was neither.
Neither and nor.
Neither and nor. Questions?
No.
No.
Okay, let's continue with the other part. Here I'm just going to circle the answer and you check if it's correct. Write a conjunction in parentheses that correctly completes each sentence. For number 1, I am not only happy, also excited about seeing the shuttle launch. So, but also.
Nor. The answer is nor.
It is but also. Pero también.
That is the answer.
Yes, that's the answer.
Okay, I will fix it.
For number 2, the space shuttles Discovery and Enterprise have been out to outer space. So before or both?
Before. Before.
No, because we're talking about Discovery and Enterprise, so it has to be both.
Both.
After.
Number 3, we visited the National Airspace Museum. I took out a book from library on spacecraft.
Both.
Or after.
After. Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's after.
Sure.
For number 4, my favorite spacecraft in the book is gold, black.
And
And.
And number 5, I want to be a pilot or an astronaut.
either.
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 Either. Okay?
That's all.
We're just checking the first 5.
Oh,
Did you correct them?
see.
Okay, questions?
No.
Okay.